Look at that. Look at that. I like to see that. I like to see that. We got Facebook or not Facebook's going. Got the YouTube up and going, the backup page. So just in case you guys are tuning in over on Twitch, got the backup page for the Black Conservative Preacher. The backup page on YouTube is the BC Preacher. So if you're on Facebook and you guys want to go subscribe, make sure you go subscribe to that because you see what they're doing. I got my second strike last week. I have another week to go until I'm back with the page, the Black Conservative Preacher. So I had to create a backup page, which is the BC Preacher. There's no space in that. So I'm glad to see the symbol of the YouTube up there. So tonight's going to be a good show because we got some stuff to talk about. Of course, mandates going on across the country, and there's some other stuff. There's some other stuff which is like we've been waiting for it. We've been wondering if it's going to happen, and it's starting to happen now in the States, which I will show you. I'm not even going to give it away what it is. We'll just watch it a little bit later. And I actually just got the article in the piece about 15 minutes ago, and I was like, okay, I got to show this because, like I said, we have all been wondering if it's coming, and it's starting to happen. So we will see. But first of all, this coming weekend here in Portland, Oregon, there's a hot ticket coming to town, and hot ticket. And we've been following this gentleman for quite a while. I've known him myself for about 4 years. I met him at a SOPA, a street preacher open air conference up in Kalispell, Montana, a couple years ago. And so I've known this gentleman for a while, and I've had him on the show before. We've seen his videos. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Brother Art on the phone with us. Brother Art, are you there?
Yes. Good to hear you again.
Good to hear you. So how are you? What's been going on? Because the last time a lot of us saw some of the video, you were being drugged from your car off the side of the highway and being arrested. You and some other gentlemen. So what's been going on with that whole thing? Catch us up.
Well, I was arrested with my brother David for inciting people to come to church. So just grasp this for a second. In a free and democratic society, a government decides to arrest a pastor with his brother in the middle of the busy highway using SWAT team. So anti-terrorists blocked the street, a busy highway, and arrested me and my brother David. We spent 3 days. Big portion of that, solitary confinement. They did not allow us to sleep for 3 days. They were banging on the doors. We were stripped naked, chained. They put chains on our feet. Wow. In Canada. This is not Russia or China. And we were taken to see the judge on the third day after 2 nights. And after the judge commanded them to release us, the jailers still kept us for 7 more hours. And then when they finally kicked us out because they could not keep us against the wishes of the judge, the police helicopter and police car followed us all the way home. So that's what happened in that video, of course. This is a vendetta. They're doing this against us because they said we have embarrassed them in front of the entire world by me kicking them out from our church and calling them Gestapo and Nazis, which they are, because they're acting, and the arrest just proved my point. I mean, they validated everything I have been saying for a very long time, that there is a cancer in Canada. The Canada is no longer a democracy. It's a police state. And the way they treated me, and they still persecute and prosecute us, it just proves and validates all of those things that I have been saying for a number of years. So where do we stand now? Well, they want, first, originally, I was facing 4 years prison for inciting people to come to church. 3 court orders, 2 court injunctions, and 2 contempt of court order just for simply inciting people to come to church and officiating a church service against those people's those wannabe tyrants' wishes. So that was changed. The 4 years for me, 2 years for my brother David, my blood brother David, was changed into 21 days prison for me, even though I already spent with him 3 days and 2 nights. They want 21 additional prison days and 10 days for my brother David. So that's where we stand right now. The judge is a political activist. Before we even started anything, I said to my brother David and to the lawyers, we have 4 lawyers that are defending us. We don't stand a chance with this judge because he started the whole thing like we are in a big pandemic and the virus is real, is dangerous, blah, 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 completely ignoring the fact which the data proves we are not in the middle of pandemic. People are not dying left and right. Yes, the virus is real and people do get sick and some do die. Just like every year we have people dying because of flu. This one has a bigger kick. I get it, but this is not near to what they are telling us. And it's not, of course, dangerous as they're telling us that this thing is. So they're ignoring data. They're ignoring everything. They have gotten themselves a judge activist, a political activist that was running for a Liberal Party of Canada. So that's like your democratic, I call them, party in United States. Yeah, Democrat. So that's the same scenario. And he is judging us where we are a very well-known people in this country, in Canada, for many years. We have voted conservative. We have voted against the Liberal Party, and we have advocated against the Liberal Party for a very long time. So we never stood a chance. There is no longer a law and order. There's no longer, let's judge those people according to the law. No, we have been found guilty before this whole thing even started. And that's exactly what happened. The judge rendered us guilty of all charges. And what's interesting, the last time we had to appear before him, he said, well, I want you to be in my court physically, even though all of those meetings that we had were virtual because, of course, there is COVID, deadly pandemic, according to him. But this time he said, I want you to be in my court because it will be easier to transfer you to prison. Can you imagine? He did not even render his sentence, and he already says we're going to prison. So that's where we stand right now. Those people are not following the law. They're not following the rule of law and justice. Those people are activists, and they want to make an example out of us. How dare you? How dare you oppose the totalitarian government? How dare you stand against tyranny? How dare you expose the political state that Canada has become? I am currently in the United States. I came here because I believe that God has a message for America. God has a message for United States and for Americans. And here is the message that I believe that God wants you to hear. Rise up, O great eagle, and start flapping your wings. You see, what happens right now around the world is the biggest takeover of the globalistic, evil, communist, fascist, and socialistic hybrid ever in the history of our planet. So what is happening right now is the greatest elimination of the middle class and destruction of small and medium-sized businesses ever seen in history. And Christians and churches are in opposition to that because, of course, we hate tyranny. We love people. We wish good for people. So before Americans in the First and Second War came to our aid, came to the aid of the enslaved world under the Russians, the boots of the Soviets and the boots of the Nazis. And I think it's time for Americans to rise up again and come to the rescue. Amen. To our aid. I truly believe that Americans have that you got that in your DNA, this ability to fight for freedom, because your country, United States of America, was founded in, of course, we know the Declaration of Independence, 1776, and how the founding fathers started this beautiful, amazing dream called United States of America. So I really believe that once again, you people are needed to come to our aid, to the rescue, if you will. You got to start flapping your wings. And this is what I'm doing. I'm going from venue to venue, from conference to conference, church to church, Tea Party, Republican, meetings, all kinds of different meetings, telling people what is happening in Canada, just north of you, across the border, what is happening with the Chinese being trained on Canadian soil, the treachery that Canada started against the United States of America. And you have to be very careful what is happening there, because you might be stabbed from your greatest allies. It's a big treachery right now. So I'm telling my story. I'm telling people what happened to me, what is happening to me, with a hope that you will rise up and not only help us, but prevent the same thing from happening in your own country. So I'm on a tour. I have been here for 2 months. The reception is absolutely unbelievable. I got standing ovations wherever I go. People have seen the video. The video has been seen, I was told, over 1 billion times. #1 played video during Easter weekend. So wherever I go, people have seen it. They're cheering me on. They are trying to spread the word around and help us in any capacity they can. And I'm going to be in Portland just 2 days from now, Saturday, with the same thing, the message of hope, the message of rise up, stand up, don't allow evil to take over your country. For such a time as this, you have been raised. And, hopefully more and more patriots will rise up and more people will come to our defense and more people will stand up for what is right. I mean, we are in this timeline together right now, and we are determining right now how our future is going to look like. What kind of a country, what kind of heritage we're going to pass to our children. It's pretty much up to us. So
right.
That's a little bit of a summary. Of course, it's a lot more. I had meetings with absolutely amazing people. I had a meeting with General Flynn a number of times, Mike Lindell,
Yep.
and a number of senators, state senators, U.S. senator. I had a meeting with Congressman and Governor William Lee from Tennessee, and I have scheduled to see a number of other politicians as well, which are very receptive and very helpful. Senator Haley sent a letter to the government of Canada telling them that they're considering of that Canada should be put on a watch list as one of the nations that is persecuting and prosecuting Christians, and rightfully so, because that's exactly what is happening. 50 churches has been burned down in few weeks. Priests are being physically attacked. I have been physically attacked. Other pastors as well. They're jailing us. We are facing prison terms just for doing our job. You see, politicians, they got their job. Right now they're crooks. I guess that's their job today, being lying, thieving, bloody murderers. But we have a job to save people, to save lives, and to give people hope. And that today is being taken away from us.
Right. So I mean, let me go back a little bit, because you mentioned a couple things, and I know it shocked a few people. You said that when you guys were put in jail that they stripped you guys and you guys were naked. Now, was this just part of their routine, or were you guys like naked and stripped for a long period of time?
No, what happened was it was not part of the routine how we were treated, because I don't know if you remember the story. I was handcuffed on my knees,
yep.
And an officer whispered to my ear that they're going to charge me with resisting arrest. Then they took me to a tube van, and then they said that they're going to charge me with assaulting a peace officer. So at that time, I understood the message. We're going to pin anything and everything we can on you. Right now, we have you in our grasps, and we can do with you as we please. And that's exactly what happened. They threw me on the ground of the police tube van. I was traveling there for an hour on my back, on top of my handcuffed wrist,
ouch,
and my feet up. and my head on the ground down in a corner. When we arrived, they took us to a solitary confinement and they did not allow us to sleep. They were banging on the door every half an hour, and the lights were so bright. For other inmates, the lights were, they shut the lights off, but for us, they did not. So right away, I knew that the treatment that we are getting is totally different than other inmates are getting. It was very clear. When we were taken to prison, immediately we realized that we're going to be harassed and abused over there because they tried to force to put a muzzle on our faces. We said no. So they threw us into the filthiest cell you can absolutely imagine. And remember, all of this that was done to us in the name of health, right? So we are now brutalized, abused on the ground with all the germs and viruses and you name it. All of that is being done to us in the name of health. And then we are thrown into the filthiest cell. It looked like someone walked around and peed all over the place. There was mold on the ceiling, mold on the walls, and we were thrown over there with my brother David. Again, no pillows, no mattress, nothing, just concrete. And then we were taken to another place, and they commanded us to strip ourselves naked, which, we had to do. Then we were, they examined us or whatever, if we are not having any contraband. And then we were thrown to the same filthy cell, shivering with a little blue, thin blue jumpsuit. And, I think there was a red or pink slippers. And that's how we spent another night. And then when we were taken to court, they put the chains on our legs and, of course, handcuffs, and off we go over there. Officer confiscated my belongings, and he, in front of everybody else, threw my personal stuff into a garbage bin. So when I said, you're a thief, you're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to throw my personal stuff in the garbage bin. He shoved me, like he threw me on the wall. And he says in front of everybody, he says, are we going to have a problem with you? And I said, no, I have a problem with you because you're a thief and you're breaking the law in the name of the law.
Right.
So that's how it went until the judge finally commanded them to release us, which they did not do for 7 more hours. And now fast forward, the judge found us guilty. We're facing, like I said, 21 days for me from 4 years and 10 days for my brother David from 2 years. There's a very interesting twist in the story because I don't know if you remember the judge, a different judge, that gave them this amazing, unbelievable power to enter our church anytime they want, any day of the week, with whomever they want. And that's why they showed up with SWAT team. His name is David Gates. I don't know if they are related, if he's related to Bill Gates, but I find this story very fascinating that David Gates would break the law, the criminal law of Canada, section 176, and would give them power to bypass criminal code and do whatever they want. And if it's fascinating in a document, it says that they can arrest me and use any force they pretty much want. And that's exactly what they did.
Right.
They used whatever they thought it's necessary to take a pastor into custody. They could call me. I had a relationship with officers for years. They came to my house for coffee. We had discussed many protests and different things before, so this could be done totally different, but they've chosen this way because they wanted to send a message to others. You see what we can do to you? If we can do this to the pastor, we can do this to anybody we wish. And that's exactly the message that they send to the rest of the world. So another judge has given them power to pretty much shut up and shut down every dissent in Canada. Protests were deemed illegal, gatherings were illegal, congregations, churches, all of that was illegal. So they used those 2 documents from 2, I believe, corrupted, evil judges to break the criminal law that we are being, we were supposed to be protected under. Right now, I am in the States. The judge already said that he wants me to come back and face him in a courtroom because I will go to prison. So eventually I have to come back, but not yet.
Okay.
My trial is on September 13th, so I still have a month to tour around and hopefully awaken more Americans.
Right, right. So, this is interesting because we saw this stuff happen when Jesus was on the earth. When Jesus was walking the earth, we saw this exact same type of stuff happen to him and the apostles. And then Jesus talked about it. If they hated me, they'll hate you. If they persecuted me, they will persecute you, that we will be turned over to governors. So all this is stuff that Jesus did tell his followers that they would endure and go through. And you know that firsthand, brother.
Yes, of course. It's like my wife says, when sometimes I had those moments of, whining and complaining, why me, poor me, we go through those moments. And she would look at me and she would say, well, you would like to have better than Jesus himself. They hated him. They persecuted the giver of life. What did Jesus do? He only did good. Mm-hmm. He only blessed people. He did not hurt people. He was an amazing, amazing God that came to give people hope, and they hated him with a passion. So, of course, we are facing a very similar situation right now. People hate us because they're filled with evil. They're demon-possessed, and they hate what is good. Therefore, they hate us because we are doing our best to pursue good. And there's really nothing we can do about it. We can pray for those people, which I do. We can preach the truth, hopefully, that their eyes will be open. But, from time to time, we will go through some difficult moments.
Right, right. Very true. So let me ask you this, because there was some, I don't know if you want to say controversy or misunderstanding or a little bit of confusion. So you're going to be here this coming Saturday here in Portland, Oregon. Now, are you coming in exactly to Portland, Oregon, or are you going to be someplace else?
No, I will, to my understanding, because as you know, I'm not putting the tour together, is somebody else is handling my tour here because I just one person is not capable of doing this stuff. So to my understanding, we're meeting in a battleship memorial in Portland, Oregon, for a rally. So far that's what I know.
Okay.
And I'm coming to speak. I'm coming to give people hope. I'm coming to hopefully, inspire more Americans to come to our defense, to stand up and push the great evil that we see left and right, away from our beautiful countries. Canada is a beautiful country, and there's still a lot of beautiful people that are worth fighting for. America is unbelievably beautiful country. I traveled this land for the past 2 months. I mean, I have been in so many states, some of them number of times, and the diversity, the beauty of this country is incredible.
Right.
So when I talk to Americans, I say, well, listen, if you don't want to fight for yourself, okay, fine, but do it for the children. Do it for your grandchildren. Those kids are worth fighting for. The future generation is depending on what are we going to do today. What kind of a nation we're going to pass to our children? What kind of inheritance are we going to give to those that will come after us? So, to my knowledge, everything is as planned, and that's what I'm planning to do.
Well, no, right, and I ask that because, I mean, coming into Portland, I'm sure you've seen videos, you've heard of things, you've heard of Antifa, you've heard of BLM, and you know how we as street preachers have rolled. You know how Brother Ruben has rolled, myself, and we usually go into the thick of it. And so that's why I had to ask you if you're going to come into the thick of it, or you're going to preach that message, the inspiration, the gospel message, as well as, even if you probably have to rebuke some people. I'm just hoping that you're not going to run. You don't seem like the type of man that runs, but I had to ask and throw it out there.
Well, if it comes to running, I mean, we have to be wise if it comes to stupidity. If we, Jesus walked through the crowd because it was not his time yet to die. So I don't have a martyr complex. If police is going to come into a situation and say, hey, for the sake of peace, you have to go, I'm not going to just stand over there and fight with the police.
Yeah.
So I'm going to listen to wiser people and people that have authority. I'm not anti-government or anti-police, anti-rule of law and order. I am actually for it. I am for justice and the true rule of law. However, I'm not going to be bullied by some thugs or gangsters.
Right.
Wannabe. So I have a right to do what I do. I'm doing it peacefully, and I intend to continue to do this peacefully. However, if someone is threatening or attacking or, trying to hurt, I'm going to do everything as a man to defend that someone and stand up as a man and do what I have to do to protect life. So I hope that this would never come. I hope that the police will do their job. That's why we pay them big bucks. That's why they have their handcuffs and guns. And we are coming. I'm coming. I'll speak for myself. Whatever I'm doing, I'm always doing this peacefully.
Right.
I am there for a message of peace, a message of love, a message of from the biblical message.
Yeah.
Some people have different alternative motives. I can't speak for them, but if it comes to me, I am coming there for one purpose: to save lives, to give people hope, a message of inspiration. That's why the tour is called Courageous Faith, because we need that faith to keep doing, flipping this switch and bringing the light, because it takes courage and it takes faith sometimes to bring the light into darkness. So I've heard that Oregon is very dark.
Yeah.
There is a great evil over there.
Yes,
and the
sir.
only way I know how to counterattack the evil is by bringing the truth, love, and the light.
Right. So let me ask you this, because you've mentioned it a few times, and you are inspiring a lot of people. You are helping to wake people up as well. So when you mention fight and standing up, what exactly do you mean by that? Because, like I said, I've seen you and we've seen you go in head first, and you don't back down. You face the enemy, and you don't run, you don't back down, you keep going. So what message could you give to a lot of the churches who may be intimidated, who are fearful to face some of these demonic people in the nation? What type of encouraging word could you say to some of these churches and pastors?
Well, first of all, lions do not bow before the hyenas, but also we have to understand that Jesus died for those people. He died for those people that do not understand him and do not understand us. So our message, my message, is a message of love, a message of forgiveness, a message that Jesus died for our sins and rose from the grave.
Yeah.
If it comes to standing up, the Bible is very clear. When you've done everything to stand, stand. We have to stand. We cannot allow evil to run us over or run us away. This is our land. This is your country. This is your city. And it's really up to you how you want your city to look like. So just because, your city might have some evil people, it's up to you to counterattack that evil by bringing good. And, there is no greater weapon than a tongue of a man. You see, I think that's why they're so terrified. That's why they're deplatforming Christians. That's why they're censorshiping. There's a censorship of left and right, because they're terrified of the greatest weapon that there is, which is the truth. Truth is like a pillar. It stands on its own. It doesn't need any support. But the lie needs to be supported by more lies, by manipulation, misinformation. It's just tyranny, terror, fear, and that's what we're seeing left and right. The truth, I am there for one reason, to bring the truth. And you don't have to like what I say. But I think in a free and democratic society, we have to come to a point to realize that I may not agree with what you're saying, but I will defend your right to say what's on your heart. Because if we don't have that right, there goes your freedom for both of us, for those that disagree and for those that are speaking. I think many people do not realize that because they have not grew up like me under tyranny. I grew up under the boots of the Soviets, so I can tell you how that looks like. It's no fun for both of us. The tyrants, they were also very uncomfortable with that situation because, you see, they had friends, they had families, and in the end of the day, dictatorship, tyranny hurts everyone. I mean, absolutely everyone, including the tyrants in the end. I'll give you an example. The Nazis, they came to power and they've done what they've done. But in 1939, those women, they were very proud of their husbands, their fathers, and their sons. And off they went to conquer the whole world and murder and pillage and rape and, do concentration camps and shoot the babies and mothers pregnant and all that stuff. And the German women were very proud of those men that they went and they did all of those horrible, horrible things. But in 1945, when Russians were, in quote, liberating Europe, 2 million women in Germany, 2 million German women were raped by the Russian soldiers in 1945. And I bet they were not very proud at that moment. So what I'm trying to say, in the end of the day, the villain, the bully, and the victim, in the end of the day, they're all victims.
Right.
For example, I'm sure you've heard about January 6th. Yes. So it's very interesting because I've talked to eyewitnesses, people that were there, and they saw what was really going on. And the police officers were told to open the door and let those people in. And many people took that opportunity to go and see the Capitol Hill. And those officers right now are being murdered by suicide. I don't know if you heard what is happening, but now 4 police officers suddenly committed suicide.
Right.
Is that not convenient?
Yeah.
All those people that have received the orders to open the doors now are being eliminated. You know what that tells me? That tells me, and I hope Antifa and BLM people are listening to this.
I'm sure they are.
My friends, listen to me, please. I beg you, listen to me. In the end of the day, the devil is a liar. He will use you.
Amen.
He will abuse you, and he will destroy you, just like he is doing with those officers that were told to obey the orders. They were told to open the doors and now are being eliminated, murdered by those wannabe tyrants. And that's exactly what the enemy does. That's exactly what the devil is doing. I love you. I love people. I don't hate people. In my church, we have Asians, we have Jamaicans, we got Africans, we got natives. Actually, half of the people I feed thousands of people on the streets of Calgary free of charge. I do not take a penny from the government. They're native people. I love them. During the COVID, when the native reserves were shut down, I was risking my life with volunteers delivering millions of dollars worth of food to 4 different native reserves in Alberta. I love people. I don't hate people. I don't hate Antifa. I don't hate, BLM people. I love people. I hate what those people do sometimes, because what they do, they bring chaos, they bring violence, they bring hate, and all of that they do in the name of tolerance and love and acceptance. I mean, open your eyes. The devil is using you, and then he's going to destroy you, just like those police officers, just like those different, I'm sure you've heard the news about Kuma.
Yep.
You see, those politicians, most of them are pedophiles. Most of them are evil, wicked people. But Kumo, unfortunately for him, unfortunately for us, he was caught. And I'm telling you, I will not be surprised if tomorrow or next week or a month from now, Kumo is going to commit suicide. Because why? Because he knows too much. Because he is a threat. They don't want him to start speaking. That majority of those politicians have been doing exactly what this man is being accused of, and he needs to be eliminated because he just knows too much. So open your eyes. The devil will use you, abuse you, and then he will eliminate you. Do not allow him to do that to you. God loves you. He died for you. He rose from the grave. Why would you bring violence and hatred? I don't get it. I don't understand hate. Hate is too big of a burden for a man to carry. I prefer to love and forgive and do good as much as I can.
Yeah. Amen. Amen. Well, no, that's a good word, and a lot of people are looking forward to you coming. Some people didn't even know, but definitely going to be promoting it. Get people there this coming Saturday. You'll be downtown Portland along the waterfront at the Battlefield Oregon Memorial. That's at Tom McCall Waterfront, and I think you're scheduled to speak at like 12 p.m. or at least that's what time the rally is starting. So we're looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to seeing you. It's been a few years since I saw you last, so I'm looking forward to catching up with you. It's person to person, so.
Okay, well, see you there, and pray for those people. They do not know what they do.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, they bought the lie. For whatever reason, they have accepted that path in the life. But I'm telling you, I have been there, and I'm not going back. I'm not going back to hate. I'm not going back to bitterness and unforgiveness. That's just too hard of a life.
Too much of a burden, brother.
It is. It is a huge burden,
Yeah.
When you see another human being and you just hate him, why? Why would you hate a white man? Why would you hate a black man? Why would you hate, a yellow person, Asian or Native American? Like, why?
Yeah.
Those are people created by God in the image of God. I love people. That's why I do what I do. When people come to our lineups, I don't ask them if they're homosexuals or not. I love homosexuals. I love transgender. I disagree with their lifestyle, but I love people. I don't hate people. I actually don't hate anyone. I don't hate my enemies.
Right.
That's up to God. God is going to decide what he will do with those people. Me, I am commanded to forgive them and move on, because if I will not, I'll become bitter, and unforgiving is going to destroy me. I want to be a free man. And I just don't understand why human beings are hating each other. I just don't get it.
Right. Well, amen, brother. I appreciate the call. Appreciate you coming on at last minute. I know we just talked today, and I thank you for making the time to come on and share a little bit. And, again, everybody's looking forward to you being down here this coming weekend.
Okay. God bless you. See you Saturday.
All right, brother. God bless. Bye. There you guys go, Brother Artur. He is he's going to be here this coming Saturday, August 7th, 12 p.m., Tom McCall Waterfront at the Battlefield Oregon Memorial. If you've been down the Tom McCall Waterfront, there's like this little area that has an old like battleship like stack thing going on, and that's where it's going to be. And he is going to come with a bold message, a truthful message, a message about forgiveness, a message about the blood of Jesus Christ. So looking forward to that. And then obviously the next day, what's his face is going to be here, worship singer Sean. He will be here on Saturday, or not Saturday, but Sunday evening, I think 6 o'clock. Same park down at Waterfront in Portland, Oregon. I think he'll probably be maybe toward the same area that he was at last year, which is down by the Hawthorne Bridge, south end of Tom McCall Waterfront. So good weekend for the gospel message to be coming to a dark, wicked city like Portland, Oregon. Awesome. Going to be good times. So I'm looking forward to that the whole weekend. And then on top of that, Sunday around 4 p.m. in Sandy, Oregon, Pastor Russell's doing a rally march for unborn babies. The unborn lives matter. It'll be a march through Sandy, Oregon, with flags for the unborn children, basically against abortion, and there will be people speaking, giving testimony. So I'll be going to that, and then shooting from Sandy, Oregon, heading downtown to check out the remaining of the concert. So packed weekend. Make sure you guys get out to Sandy, Oregon, if you can, around 3:30, 3:45. That starts at 4 p.m. At least go for an hour, and if you want to shoot downtown, shoot downtown. The concert downtown on Sunday, it'll probably go till 8:30, 9 o'clock. So even if you guys stay all the way until 6 p.m. in Sandy, then you can shoot downtown to hit, at least hear the end of it. So that'll be good. So other stuff that's going on. Other stuff. Let's talk about it. Let's hear what's happening. Let's hear what's happening across the nation. This actually happened today, right? This actually took place today. I want to say it's Virginia. Virginia governor, folks. The Virginia governor happened today, right? Let's hear what the Virginia governor has to say.
Nearly every single person who has died from COVID has been unvaccinated.
Is that true? Wait, hold on.
As I said, vaccines are...
Every single person, he said every single person that has died died because of... What was that? Is it... Really?
The only way to stop this virus... back to the normal lives of many of us...
The only way to stop this virus. This is what the governor of Virginia is saying. The only way to stop this virus. This is the only way. I want you guys to pay attention to the only way that the virus will go away. And this is not fake news, because his platforms, and it's on YouTube. So, hey, he said it, right? It's not coming from me. The governor said it. I'm just repeating what the governor said of Virginia. The only way to stop this.
Of us were rediscovering just a few weeks ago. And that's why new actions that I take as governor will be focused on promoting vaccinations. So today, I'm taking an important step to protect state employees. We have around 120,000 people who are employed by the state of Virginia.
So he's
speaking as the head of that workforce.
So speaking as the head of the workforce, his job is to protect the state of Virginia employees. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing how he's going to protect the state of Virginia, the people who work for the state. How is he going to protect them? How is he going to protect them?
We want to be as safe and protected as possible. Today, I am announcing that we will require all state employees to be vaccinated and show proof of that vaccination by September 1.
And there you have it. The state of Virginia, the employees of the state of Virginia who work for the state have to be vaccinated by September 1st. Now let's see if there's another option. Let's just for the fun of it, let's see if there's another option that he says.
Anyone who chooses not to be vaccinated will have to get a COVID test every week and show proof of a negative result. I am directing this measure to keep state employees safe and to keep the people that we serve safe. And I really encourage local governments and private companies to do the same thing. There is no reason why we need to see more suffering and sickness. Not when safe, effective, free vaccines are readily available at your local pharmacy.
All right, so there's that. You guys heard it. You heard him what he was saying. Oh man, oh man. The plot thickens. The plot thickens. He wants to keep people safe. If you don't get the vaccine, then you're doing a weekly test. Okay, that's the state of Virginia. Anybody who works in the state of Virginia, if you're if you're employed by the state, then you are getting the vaccine, according to the governor. And if you don't, then you're getting a weekly test. That probably includes cities as well, because city employees, I'm sure you're going to be mandated to get the vaccine, according to the great governor of Virginia. So my thing is, because all under love, it's all under, well, if you love the neighbor, if you love the person, then you care about your neighbor, you'll get the vaccine. Get the vaccine, get the shot. Right? That's what it's coming down to. Because if you don't get the vaccine, then you really don't care about your neighbor. You really don't care about stopping this virus if you don't get the vaccine. That's what is being promoted. That's what's being said. In order for this virus to stop, you have to get the vaccine. So there's one down, state of Virginia, going all in, going hard, going all in to get the vac. So here's another interesting piece. This guy here, this joker, this is y'all's favorite. So U.S. plans to require COVID-19 shots for foreign travelers. That guy, that's y'all's president. Okay, no, he's my president. That's my president, Uncle Joe. My Uncle Joe. Look at that. So how's the U.S. plan to require COVID-19 shots for foreign travelers? How's that going to work? Because there's a bunch of people down south who are foreigners. They're coming here. Are they required to get the vaccine? I'm curious because my man, a couple of folks I know have been down there at the border. They're filming stuff. They're showing stuff. They're doing live streams. You know, people are getting on buses. They're being shipped places. What's going on at the border? Are these people getting shots, or are they just being let go to kind of roam the nation? Because aren't they foreign travelers? I mean, they're hopping fences. They're crossing borders. Are they foreign travelers or not? I'm just curious. Yep, that's y'all's president right there. Biden administration is taking the first steps toward requiring nearly all foreigner visitors to the U.S. to be vaccinated for the coronavirus, a White House official said Wednesday. This was yesterday. The requirement would come as part of the administration's phased approach to easing travel restrictions for foreign citizens to the country. No timeline has yet been determined. So, this stuff, I kid you not. Eventually, all foreign citizens entering the country with some limited expectations are expected to need to be vaccinated against COVID-19 to enter the U.S. The official spoke on the condition of anonymity to preview the policy under development. So, yeah. I don't understand it. It don't make sense to me. That don't make sense to me at all. How are they? So people who have the money to come here, okay, people who take trips and want to come visit tourist spots, tourists, foreigners who are tourists, they have to get vaccinated. But again, people down south at the border who are trying to come here because of this awesome administration, it says, come here, we will give you what you want, we'll give you what you need, just come here, just come into the country, right? Sanctuary cities, are they being required? Are they being required to get the poke, to get the jab, the shimmy? Are they being required to get it? I don't know. I don't know if they are or if they're not. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm kind of like asking. I'm inquiring minds wants to know, because if you're doing it to people who have the money, who are coming here to tourists, then you should be doing it to those. I mean, automatically. I mean, you're capturing these people, putting them on the bus. That should be like one of the first things you do, right? Because you're not sending them back across the border. You're actually putting them on buses and you're transporting them to some place. It should have been like one of the first things you do, since you're requiring people who are tourists, foreigners, to get vaxxed. I'm just saying. And then, like we was talking about last night on the show, on Let's Talk About It, which we're going to get a new name for the whole for the show, but we was talking about on Will's platform last night about all this type of stuff. They are pushing this back. Like, it's unbelievable how they are pushing it, how they're promoting this back. Like, no, I mean, and it's not just like a state thing or a city thing or just our nation. This is a global push for this vac. To get the jab, to get the poke, it's a global thing. This thing is like, it's across the world that they're promoting this vac, to get vac. It's crazy. And it is surreal. It is like a Twilight Zone moment, because it's like, is this really real? Is this really happening? And the trippy thing about it is that I remember, like, I think like 2 or 3 years ago, I was like, dang, news is coming out every day, every week, or every other week. It seems like there's something big. Now it's like every hour, every day there's something new, something breaking, something that's like, whoa, like, okay, now what's next? It's crazy how much information is coming out daily. And I mean, you know, it obviously helps with all the platforms. You got Twitter, you have Instagram, you have, you know, Facebook, you have live streaming, such as I do, and other people. You have YouTube. I mean, so there's constantly ways to get information, like rapid, nonstop, all day long, just go, information. And it's crazy. And that's why I guess part of it feels like just like a Twilight Zone feel, because it's so much information, so much breaking news every hour, life-changing things every hour, every day. And it's just like, okay, what do we do? I mean, right when you think you know what to do, you're doing it, or you think you're adjusted, and then it flips up. It's something else. And then just all the confusion. Like, we really don't I think at the end of the day, really know where we are at or what to do. I don't really think that we know exactly what to do. And the only thing that we can do is have faith in Christ and just allow him and to rest in him daily. Because right now, we don't know what to do. It's like, we think, okay, well, school boards. Okay, we've been seeing now the school board thing happening for, 4 months, 5 months. I mean, people really been on the school board thing, especially since Biden's been president. But what's really happening with the school board stuff? Because at the end of the day, they're going to be listening to the union. They're going to be listening to the governors. They're going to be listening to the mayors. And depending on what city you're in regards to school board stuff, who's going to have the final say so? And I've heard some stuff regarding the school board stuff that they're really just going to sit there and kind of look at you like you're stupid if you go on a rant. They're not even going to really respond to you. And we've probably seen that in videos that the school board people aren't really responding back to people who are up there speaking. So, I mean, are we wasting our times with the school board stuff? I mean, it's a possibility we could be. So what would be the next thing to do? And my friend Yanita's been talking about this, and other people, where it's real. And we was someplace. It was Dinesh. He was telling people, and this was at one of the rallies, at Mike Lindell rally, a month and a half ago or whatever. He said the best way, and he was referring to Costco, the best way to hit people is, like for Costco, he was saying, through the website. Well, so with school, the best way to hit them and to make them fall is to remove the children from school. remove them from school. But if you remove your children from school, you better be prepared. You better be lined up. You better know you got to have the patience for one, and you better be doing that stuff daily, because when the children are in school, they're being taught. Trust me, believe that they're being taught. And I should have my son come in here and share a story with you that he experienced today when he was at swim practice. He experienced a story, and I should have him come here and say it if he will. He'd probably freeze up and get shy. But they're being taught in school. So if you're prepared to pull your children out of school, you better be prepared and ready to teach. To really teach, have the patience, have the endurance to teach the children. Because that's one thing that the school system have. You know, remember that those school teachers, they have classes all day, but they're rotating. They're rotating. And they're just feeding your children information. But the best way to hit these schools are to pull the children out of the schools. That's going to be the best way. But again, that takes a lot of preparation. You know, and a lot of mental stuff, you know, and even it's also a spiritual thing. You know, better be equipped if you're going to do that. It can be difficult, it can be frustrating, and you don't want to take the frustrations out on your children, because it's not their fault. They're children. You don't want to take the frustrations out on them. So you better be prepared if you're going to pull the children out of school and start homeschooling them, which is it's the best thing to do, but have your stuff lined up. Have, you know, if you're going to do 30 minutes in the Bible or whatever, move on to writing, you know, and then if you have all different age brackets like we do, that even adds a lot more to it. So, but that's going to be the best way to hit the school system, is just pull the kids out. And I personally encourage people to do that. I encourage people to, especially at this point, what they're going to be doing, muzzling children, and who knows if they're going to end up going toward a vax thing with children. Let me see if my son would come in here and share this stuff that he shared was crazy. I want to try to see if he'll come in here. Hold on. I don't want to yell through the microphone. I'm texting right now. Let's see. But yeah. This stuff, it's what was shared today. Let me see. I'm just going to call. I'm not going to yell through the microphone. Okay.
Hi.
He's here. Whoa. What was that? Oh, that was my D1 gospel artist. So, all right. He's coming in here. So I'm going to have him share this story. It's crazy. It is. When I heard it, I was like, no, it can't be true. So he's going to come. Here he is. Oh, he's already nervous and smiling. Come over here, dude. Come here. Sit on my lap right quick. He has his Trust Jesus shirt on. So just talk in the microphone and say what. So where were you at today?
At swimming class outside.
You was at swimming class outside, and you were talking to somebody outside?
Yeah.
So who were you talking to outside?
A girl.
Okay, so you was talking to a girl outside of swimming class. You guys were outside playing? Okay, so what happened with this girl that you were talking to?
Well, she came up to me and she said, "A kid of color? I always wanted to be a kid of color."
Wait, so hold on. So she came up to you and she looked at you and said, "Whoa, like a kid of color?" And that she always wanted to meet a kid of color, right?
A kid of color.
She said she wanted to be a kid of color. So why did she say that she wanted to be a kid of color? What color was she?
White.
Okay, she was white. So why did she say she wanted to be a kid of color?
Because she said being white sucks.
She told you that being white sucks. How old do you think that she was? Probably
13.
Around 13 years old. Okay, thank you. So that's the story. I heard that, and I was like, so I heard the beginning of the story, and I was like, what? And it was confirmed that this girl, a white girl, said that it sucks to be white. Now, where do you guys think that she heard that from? Probably 13 years old, so we're probably saying middle school. Do you think that she just went around and just, like 5 years ago started saying, oh, it sucks to be white? You know what I mean? Like, what type of stuff, what type of nonsense is that? Whoa, I always wanted to be a kid of color. So now understand this. She didn't say black. So she's hearing the proper language that the school systems are using. Colored people, because I remember back in the day that colored folks was almost just as offensive at one point. I remember that people didn't like to be called colored folks or people of color. I remember that. And now kind of like they've switched it up where people of color are now like it's a cool thing or more of a PC thing to say. So she says to him, I always wanted to be a person of color. He says, why? She says her response is because white people suck. That's heartbreaking as a child to be thinking that. And why is she thinking that? Why is she believing that? Where is she hearing that stuff from? From the school system. They're not hearing about God. They're not hearing about Jesus. They're not hearing about the Pledge of Allegiance. They're not hearing the national anthem. They're not hearing God Bless America. Or America the Beautiful. They're hearing about CRT stuff, that white people suck. That's what they're hearing about. And it would have been great if he would have known how to follow up with it, like, why do white people suck? It would have been great if he would have, been able to say that to her and to pick her brain more to see what she was thinking. But that alone, at being 13 years old, for her to say something like that that's heartbreaking. And I told my wife today, I even hate the fact, honestly, that like I'm having to ask him, well, what color was she? I'm hating the fact that my children, because of what's happening in our nation, are having to say, well, that's a black person, that's a white person, this and that. I actually hate that. I hate that they're having to even know and distinguish between things. And I know part of it's because of me, because I'm involved with the politics and all this stuff happening in society. But to hear my children, and look, I'm definitely not against white people, but to hear my children have to talk like black and white, I'm like, it drives me nuts. I'm like, it's cringing to me. It's absolutely cringing. I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. And I didn't pull up no video to this, but it's almost like the whole thing with the whole the new, which is ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. This new anthem that they're going to be playing at the NFL games this coming season, the Black National Anthem. I don't even know what it's called. I don't even know it. How many black people actually even know the black or whatever the African, is it African National Anthem? I don't know what it is, but how many black people actually know it? I didn't even hear about it until they start bringing it, until the woke liberals start bringing it up. I had no clue. And how come we're not doing the Russian national anthem or whatever you want to call it, or the Asian one, the Korean one, the Mexican? Why aren't we doing all of them? Why is it now again? Why are we segregating and now kind of like being racist toward all the other races? Since we're talking about racism and this and that, why don't we do every foreign national anthem there is? Because I still don't even understand the whole African American thing. I don't get that. I don't get why black people even want to be called African American. Why do you want to be called African American? Because they're not called Asian American. They're not called Russian American. They're called Americans. They're Asian. They're Russian. But they're from there. A lot of people who come here, they come here through the proper steps from Asia, from China, from Russia, and they do their proper steps. I didn't come from Africa. My dad, I don't believe he came from Africa. Don't really know him, but I don't believe he came from Africa. My siblings on that side of the family didn't come from Africa. They were born here in America. They're American. They're not African American. They didn't come from Africa. They were born in America. They're America. They're American. You can say, fine, if you want to say Black America, but they're definitely not African American. And maybe they say African American because you probably don't say, well, they're yellow American. I guess we could play that game and say, well, Asian people aren't yellow American because black is actually a color, But then again, if they want to be politically correct, why don't they just say brown American? Why? I don't know. Just we could go on. We could go on and on with that. That there. So this here, there's so much. There's so much stuff. It's never ending. It's never ending. There's just so much. Okay. So we hear about Virginia for people who work for the city, the state, mandated. We hear about Biden, what he's wanting to do, all foreigner people. Would that include African? Would foreigners be considered African? Or is it just like more Asian and Russian and that type of thing? Or is it African? Africans? Curious. Or would that be racist? I don't know. I'm throwing it out there. So we heard those two stories, right? So mandates for the state of Virginia for city and state workers. Biden wanting to make sure all foreign visitors are vaxxed. So now let's move on to this next story. What city is going to be next? That's what I want to know.
That'll work. On Milwaukee's north side, less than 40% of the population is vaccinated for COVID-19.
You get all kinds of questions. The only thing that hurts me is not enough people are saying yes.
And cases of the Delta variant are rising. Mobilizers like Vianna Jordan with Jump at the Sun are going door to door.
And we're seeking people who have not been.
Jump at the Sun, they're going door to door. You heard it right there, okay? They're going door to door, folks. Okay, I don't know why they're going door to door. Let's play the game. So why are they going door to door? For what? For what reason?
Vaccinated. We want to afford everyone in the community an opportunity to become vaccinated.
Walking 15 blocks a day, 5 days a week. At some homes, people are vaccinated. At others, they're not.
Okay, 15 blocks a day. People don't even do that for Jesus. People won't even go out and do a prayer walk or a Jesus march with banners for Jesus. But hey, we'll go out because we care about our neighbors. We need more people to get vaxxed. So we'll go out on that for that principle, but we won't do really nothing for God. God's done enough for us. Jesus paid it all. He did it all for us. We don't have to do nothing. We don't want to go serve him. We don't want to go tell our neighbors that we love about the blood of Jesus Christ, but we want to inform them and encourage them to get vaxxed. Where are the priorities?
They're kind of doubtful that it's really a cure, but I felt a relief once I got my vaccine.
Sarah Matusek with Milwaukee's health department says several hundred of the vaccines have been given out in this fashion since the program began in July.
And a lot of them say that without us going door to door, they wouldn't have got vaccinated.
A reason people say no often.
So now they're saying without them going door to door, they probably wouldn't have got vaxxed. But because you came to my door, hey, you really encouraged me. You sparked the interest. I'm inspired. I'm encouraged now. Now I really want to go get vaxxed. Because you came to my door, you saw me face to face. makes me wonder, was there some sort of threat there? Was there some sort of like underlying thing like, well, if you don't get it, this could happen? I'm just wondering if that's maybe some of the message, and people are like, okay, yep, I'm going to get it because I don't want that to happen to me, what you're telling me. So, yeah, I'm going to get it now. And she's wearing a mask outside. Looks like Portland.
In the black community, she says,
look at that.
is mistrust in the government.
What is going on there? Two of them you're outdoor, and you're not social distancing. Look at them. They're not social distancing. I mean, that's like a foot. That's a foot apart. Look at that. That's a foot apart. Boom. There's about 6 inches right there. Another 6. Okay, maybe a foot and a half apart. Definitely not 6 feet.
We have to remember that there are still people living that remember the Tuskegee, of course, and people who have grown up listening to the horrors that went on with things like that.
COVID numbers are once again starting to rise disproportionately in black and brown communities.
My young people, they don't understand.
Encouraging Jordan to grind harder.
Well, let's hit it. To be out here doing this and helping the community is a blessing. Have you been vaccinated yet?
Hoping to save more lives than perhaps they already have.
Do they really care about saving lives? You're going to tell me that when someone shows up to my door that they actually care more about me than I care about myself, that they actually care more about my family than I care about my family? That's what you're telling me? Knock, knock. Hello. Oh, my name is so-and-so. Oh, I've never seen you before in my life. Yes, may I help you? Well, I'm here to let you know. All right. You're telling me that that person that I've never seen cares more about me. Like they know me. They love me that much. They care more about me and my family than I do. They care more about me. I mean, that's their story, right? We care about the community. We care about people. Come on, y'all. Like, I mean, when anybody says, even outside of this, when people do this and they do phone calls and we really care. Do you really care? You don't even know me. It's your first time talking to me. Do you really care? Tell me about my life. Tell me everything that I don't know.
Too many people have had the vaccine, so you know it's effective. It's time to get with the program.
A lot of good conversations had out here today, and for anyone who's still on the fence, they're left with information. You can just call 414-215.
414 hang up. There you go. 414 hang up. Like, oh man, oh man, oh man. I told you guys about news. You see what I told y'all? I told y'all this last night. And if you're just tuning in to Facebook or YouTube tonight, y'all didn't catch last night or the night before, there's hardly any, like, good news to talk about. I mean, like, everything is Biden or everything is, like, Q stuff. Trump's returning. Everything is COVID stuff. Everything is an officer down, officer shot, people shooting officers. Like, seriously. Seriously. It is nuts. It is nuts. I mean, I'm searching. I'm trying to find stuff. I'm like, man, what is this a cool thing? Is this not a cool thing? I'm like, what's and there's nothing really. There's really not a lot of stuff that's like, oh, this is going to be like it. There's maybe I can try to find one. Let me try to find one. Let's see if there's one like cool thing. Like, okay, this might be it. You know, so, let's see. Let's see here. I mean, at least make y'all like, you know, make y'all kind of. Let's see if this. Let's see about this. Where is it at? Which one want to show it on? All right, I'll show it right there. How about this? Because since there's like really like no news, right? There's not really any news. So let me just show you guys this. This was brought to my attention yesterday. I was like, yeah, no. Let's see.
3, 2, 1. See ya.
See ya. Would you all do it? Wait, where's he going? No. That's a negative. See, even that, even that, it's like it still freaks you out. You're probably still like, nope, nothing. I wouldn't do it. That's crazy bananas. So I got another YouTube page for you guys, though. You guys might like this. Y'all might like this. Y'all can go. I'll promote this one. Y'all can go subscribe to this one, okay? Y'all can go subscribe to this one. Definitely. Y'all can go subscribe. Where's it at? So, okay, so this channel here, this is like we started a new, and I don't know where we're going, what we're doing with this channel. So we started like a month and a half ago, like a new channel called American Arrows. And I'm like, okay, are we going to live stream on it? What exactly are we going to do on this channel? And so I've left it alone because I'm like, I don't really want to live stream, you know, my family completely like how I live stream. And so, thank you, Sheila. So I was like, I don't know what to do. Well, so my wife started doing stuff, and she just showed me some stuff last week or this week. I'm like, okay, that's funny, but like, now what? So I don't know. Maybe it's just going to be what it is. But she showed me this one yesterday, and I was like, so they're basically shorts. It's called American Arrows. Okay, I know it's like my first time promoting it or saying anything about it, but she's actually it's kind of almost like Instagram-y a little bit, or like what's the other one? Is it Snapchat? I don't know all the ones like that. Something like that, like Snapchat, Instagram-y type of thing. But she's actually pretty good at it. And so she did this one yesterday. All right. Again, American Arrow. Here, I'll just type it out in the thing. American Arrows. And I think on YouTube you have to put it together. All right. You ready? Y'all ready? Let me flip it over.
Who are you talking to?
Okay, so she was tripping because we don't have that many like subscribers yet because we haven't actually really done anything with it. They don't even say how many we have. Anyway, that video alone already has like 500. Yeah, TikTok. Thank you, Lisa. That video already has like 500 views. And she was like, how to get 500 views? Because we haven't done nothing on it. So, and then, so here, I'll show you guys like two more. So the other day, you guys know that my son and I, one of my sons, we went to Officer Jeremy Brown's memorial service, right? So while we were there, my son, he picks up on stuff so quick, and he loves police. He loves the military stuff. And I think I was in the house getting prepared for the show, and they went outside to the pool. And she comes back in, and she shows me this video. And I'm like, what? So what? Look at him. This was after Jeremy Brown's memorial service. After. What is he doing? So she basically, this whole YouTube channel that she's doing, I guess, is it's just supposed to be short, like short clips. I'm like, okay, you can't. There's no ads to them or nothing, so I don't know what. Not sure exactly where we're going with it, but and then she did this one the other day. I'll leave y'all with this. I won't leave y'all with this. I'll just play this one.
Go. 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 No. Go. 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 Go.
He just caught it. He's like, I'm not even diving for it.
Yeah.
So, anyway, yeah. So there's your guys' highlight. There's your good news for the day, for the week. There's your good news. Again, that's called American Arrows. I'll just show you what it kind of looks like, the page itself. In case y'all are wondering, it don't tell how many people have liked the page. I don't know why. Maybe she has that hidden. I think she probably. I like to see myself personally, but that's the page, American Arrows. That's what it looks like. So there's some things on there already. Anyway, so was there anything else? Oh yes. So this might be kind of more of a funny, perhaps, maybe more of a funny than maybe more of a funny. Let's see. Let me see if this is the right screen. This one will work. Okay. This is kind of probably more, here we go. All right. I know y'all are going to dig this. This might be my next wife. Did I say that out loud? Oops. I didn't. Gotcha. Got you guys. I gotcha. Okay. No, that will not. No, that will not be my ex-wife. So, yes, this person, this here. The headline is Portland Commissioner Joanne Hardesty plans to sue city over hit and run allegations. So she's going after Mr. Teddy, Mr. Uncle Teddy. She's going after Uncle Teddy. Hardesty says she plans to sue the city of Portland over false hit and run allegations earlier this year. Do you guys remember that? Who broke the news that it was actually her? Was it Save PDX? If Hardesty proceeds with the lawsuit against the city, she would appear to be the first sitting city commissioner ever to sue Portland, according to our news partners at Willamette Week. According to a tort claim provided to the city, Hardesty says City of Portland employees wrongfully leaked false information to media sources, accusing her of being the suspect of a hit and run on March 3rd. Oh boy, this will be fun. See, maybe there's not all bad news. There's some exciting news. She claims the leaked false information was racially motivated. Of course. I mean, everything is racially motivated. Everything has race involved in it. Why not? Just, if I ate that ice cream, it was racially motivated. I was motivated to eat it because the white people like me. It was racially motivated. You know, if I decide to go get in the car, I'm telling you, it's racially motivated. It's because I believe that I'm going to get pulled over. Duh. I mean, I'm black, right? So everything is racially motivated. She claims the leaked false information was racially motivated and designed to punish her. and for her long-standing social justice activism. Come on, Hardesty. Do you have family here? Like, honestly, Hardesty? Honestly, Hardesty? Do you have family here? I'm curious. Are they on board with you? Like, are they with the cause, or do they believe in everything that you believe? I'm wondering if she, like, I bet her place is filled with that, what is it? Sage? I don't know, the native thing that they burnt in welcoming their spirits and all. I wonder if she burns all that at her house. I'm just curious. Oh, somebody said they want to see her face again. Okay. So in the March incident in question, Portland police said hit and run crash happened near Southeast 148th and East Burnside Street when a driver hit another person's car and then left the scene without exchanging information as required by law. Well, we know that Hardesty don't care about the law. We know that. Defund the police. You think she really cares about the law? Do you honestly really think she cares about defund the police? We don't want the police. She probably wants to be her own police, or whatever. Her own rules, her own laws. That's why she. And when I say this, she lives in that area. From the last I knew, she lives in that area of 148, in somewhere within a mile or two of that area. Just saying. Not say it was her, but I know she lives close to that area of Burnside and 148th. Not far away. Put it this way, it'd probably only take her 148, probably about 2 minutes to get home, maybe 3 if there was all green lights. Pretty close. Police said the caller believed the suspect was Hardesty. The tort claims alleged that the next day at around 1 a.m., officers showed up at Hardesty's home and banged loudly on the door, waking her neighbors, probably because she might have been tipsy. She might have had a little. It might have been one of those days that she was downtown having a speaking engagement at nighttime, if you know what I mean, trying to rally the troops the comrades, trying to get them amped up, and she may have had some beverages that night, and so maybe she was sleeping the next morning when these people showed up. Oh, 1 a.m. Oh, definitely 1 a.m. I thought it said like p.m. the next day. Well, it does say the next day, but 1 a.m. Oh yeah, she definitely was just getting home from having some fun activities in downtown Portland. Okay, I'm just being sarcastic. After investigating, Hardesty was later ruled out as a suspect. Okay, well, if you're ruled out, then why are you going after them? You didn't even get arrested. You're not even in prison. You're not in jail, so what's the big deal, right? You were a suspect. They let you go, right? I mean, you didn't even go into the courtroom. You didn't even have a jury of your peers. They let you go. You was a suspect. You're gone. You're free. You're good to go. Adios. And now you want to sue them? Because it was racially motivated. Yep. While I am relieved to see the truth prevail, this incident brings up a number of urgent questions that I want answers to. I am demanding an investigation so we can get to the bottom of where this smear campaign originated. The Mayor Wheeler's office released a statement in response to the allegations, writing, "The mayor remains deeply concerned about this incident, and the mayor believes Commissioner Hardesty deserves clear and thorough answers about how and why this happened." The mayor wants those same answers. The mayor don't want to be sued. Commissioner Hardesty has every right, just as anyone would, to pursue. Why? I know the word. Why am I blanking? Litigation. Legit. Something like I'm blanking. I'm sorry. I'm human. I make mistakes. Since there is an ongoing investigation into this incident and the possibility There's that word again. I'm blanking out. Sorry. The mayor's office cannot comment further while those processes continue. The mayor will continue to work cooperatively with Commissioner Hardesty in the roles of the city council to serve the people of Portland. Yeah. There's that. Hardesty. I wonder if she got I wonder if she's married. I mean, it never talks about her husband. It never talks about her husband. What? I don't know why she's looking at me like that. I didn't do nothing. So, anyway. All right. I want to talk about one more thing. I want to get out of here. So, have you guys ever heard, I don't know how many people like dancing, maybe a wife. Someone said, wake up to that every morning. Ooh. I don't know if any of you guys like dancing or anything, but there's this group that I have always liked, okay? Like always and forever. I've always liked them. No, okay, will you stop doing that, you guys, please? Stop doing. Do you guys know who the Jabberwockies is? Terry said divorced. Do you guys know who the Jabberwockies? So I'm a big follower of the Jabberwockies. I like the Jabberwockies. Matter of fact, I'm going to take a couple of my boys to Vegas. Okay, listen, hear me out before y'all go there. Just to Vegas, just to see Jabberwockies. Well, and there's SummerSlam wrestling event. So I'm going to do, I'm actually taking them for the SummerSlam, just two of them. And then I got tickets for them to go see Jabberwockies because they love Jabberwockies because they've seen Daddy dance and all that type of jazz. Speaking of that, so I know one person on the Jabberwockies. So when I was in high school and even years after high school, here's more confessions of me or more about my life. So when I was younger, I was a b-boy. I used to break all that type of jazz. And so my sons have seen some of my videos because they were all on VHS tapes because there was no like disc and no digital stuff back in the day. So it was all VHS stuff. So there was a kid at the school I went to that I inspired him to dance. Well, come to find out, he is now one of the Jabberwockies. Because Jabberwockies aren't just the 5 members; they're actually kind of big because they do performances around the world. So he is actually one of the Jabberwockies, and it's actually kind of cool. Let me see if let me see something real quick. See if I can find him. Yep. I'm not going to show you his name. So I'm going to just try to show you some pictures. I wonder if he stopped dancing though. Looks like he's singing now instead of dancing. I wonder, what? I wonder if he's, what? I wonder if he's singing now. Looks like he's singing now, not. Okay, so maybe I can find a picture of him. I wonder if this is him choreographed. Yeah, so he was dancing there, but Anyway, here's what I'll do. Here's what I'll do. I'll just show you a photo of who he is. So this is him. So this dude I went to school with, he was younger than me. I used to b-boy, and he got inspired, started dancing, and he ran with this dream. And like I said, he eventually became one of the Jabberwockies. So, yes, he was official Jabberwocky, just so you guys know. Someone said, challenge your second son to dance off. Yeah, you probably don't want to do that. They're learning to be little b-boys. So speaking of b-boys, as I was getting ready to tell you about the Jabberwockies, they recently performed at the finals game in where was that? I think it was the Suns. I don't even know who was playing. NBA. And they've been doing that for the past 3 or 4 years. They've been playing. They've been doing halftime performance shows at the NBA finals. So this was a recent one. I'm only going to play like a little bit of clip just in case you guys really don't know who they are or are bored and stuff like that. So here's what it was. Let me see who it was. It was this NBA finals. So this was on July 18th this year. Champion. It was Game 5. Phoenix Suns. Okay, so Phoenix Suns and Milwaukee Bucks. That's right. That's who, because it was Milwaukee, I believe, who won the playoffs. They're so sick. I don't know, and you guys didn't see it because they don't play it during halftime. They're so sick. So I'll tell you guys something about dancing in a second. So, that's so sick. So the thing about dancing, so most people always think about dancing, they think about the beat. So they're just like, okay, boom, boom, boom. Well, see, I'm going further with it because. So it's not just about the beat. It's every little thing within the music. Yes, Sheila, I also love that song, especially that one that was remade like that. There's everything about the music of how it's put together. And if you go back and you watch them, they're actually dancing and also moving to little things here and there in regards like just the words. They're moving to the words and little snaps and little snares. Whoa, 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 whoa. That wasn't a beat. Boom. Wind me up. See, they say that's not a beat, that's a word. Do-do-do-do-do. Isolations. Robots. Robots. So all the stuttering is part of it as well. So, and then for the past 3 years, when they're done with this, when they're done with their performance, they have their cameramen follow them. And the thing about this past year's performance is that they had 2 people actually on the floor dancing. They had 2 people on the floor actually dancing, those two guys, and then they changed camera views to being up top. And so they've always followed them backstage when they're done. So yes, I'm taking them down, and like I said, I never wanted to really take my sons to Vegas because of just it's trash. I can't stand Vegas, but just for them to see this I'm like, okay, it's worth it. And then, a big WWE event that's going to be close. Because I've been a wrestling fan for a long time as well. And I've been to a few WrestleManias. And I was like, they've never been to like a big WrestleMania or a big event. So I was like, well, this is the closest one that's probably going to make it back here to the Pacific Northwest area. So I was like, okay, well, I'll take them down to it. I mean, we're up high, cheap seats. It's all good, just the experience and atmosphere. So I'm going to keep them away from the track of Vegas. Believe that. Uber, to and fro, hotel room, event, done. So anyway, might take them to circus. But, yep, that's about it. So they will appreciate that. They'll enjoy that. So regarding, it's funny. Here it is. I'll tell you guys my wrestling story. So I grew up watching wrestling. I've lived here in Portland all my life. So my grandmother always loved Portland wrestling. For anybody for Portland wrestling from, lives here in Portland, y'all remember Portland wrestling came on KPTV, Channel 12, after the 11 o'clock news at night, 11:30 at night. My grandmother, when I was my boy's age, we'd stay up and watch wrestling. Billy Jack Haynes, Dutch Savage, and that was the time when all the big name wrestlers would come to Portland. So Roddy Piper was based out of Portland, so he was constantly there. And it's funny because the place where they had Portland wrestling is now called Mount Olivet Church. And it's like, so when and where they have Mount Olivet Church, where the wrestling was at, it's actually their youth center. So every time I walk in there, I'm like, oh man, I remember this, I remember that. So it's a trip that I'm like, man. So anyway, I grew up watching that, went to a few of the Portland wrestling things, and so as time passed, as you grow up, you get, the good old days when you could get bullied in school and it wasn't no thing, it kind of like shaped you. So I got bullied in school because I was like the geek and the nerd who liked wrestling. Remember, it's fake. We're talking about the 80s, late 80s and 90s. So I was like, I was getting picked on. I'm like, no, it's not fake. It's real. It's real. It's real. I'm like, no, it's fake. You like wrestling. Quincy likes wrestling. Quincy likes that fake wrestling stuff. No, it's real, you guys. Stop picking on me. Well, anyway, so eventually, by the time I made it to high school, I was done watching wrestling because I was picked on. I was like, nope, you're right. It's fake. I don't want to watch it. I don't like nothing to do with it. So I watched wrestling from WrestleMania 2 all the way up until about WrestleMania, I want to say 6. I think 6 was the last WrestleMania I watched, and I think that was the one with Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan up in Canada. And that's when Ultimate Warrior won. So I watched it for that long. And this is before they had the Monday Night Raw, the weekly shows. It was before that. So it was just mostly the big events. It was like the WrestleManias, the Royal Rumble, the Survivor Series. And I'm talking to you wrestling heads out there because I know without a shadow of a doubt that there is some of you that know exactly what I'm talking about. So don't hide it. Don't be ashamed to enjoy the male soap opera. Okay? Don't hide it. I'm being serious. Don't leave me hanging by myself. So anyway, I stopped watching it for a while. So then when I started working at Jammin' 95.5 here in Portland, Oregon in 2000. Okay, now this is where it's going to get really crazy. When I started working for Jammin' 95.5, okay, I'm working at this point. There's adults. These people are adults. And there was this club called the New Copper Penny in Portland, Oregon, okay? And there were some guys on the radio station that said, "Oh yeah, we're going over to the New Copper Penny night, and we're watching. We're doing watch parties for Thursday Night SmackDown. I was like, what's Thursday Night SmackDown? And they're like, WWF? I was like, what? WWF? Like, who's watching WWF? And they start going in on all this stuff about DX, the whole Attitude Era, The Rock. I'm like, who's The Rock? And so I go and I watch it. I go over there one night just to hang out, basically to watch it. I'm like, okay, this stuff is way different than it used to be. And so I think it was like, it was at the time of WrestleMania, I want to say 17 or 16. Maybe it was 18. Might have been, it was 17 or 18. And they were back up in Canada. And I kid y'all, I'm not lying to you guys, I got hooked again. And I was at the radio station and started watching the pay-per-views again. And so it is very choreographed. Yes, it is very choreographed. It's very skilled. It's a very trustworthy sport. And I've learned a lot about it over the years because I've also met wrestlers. I know some of them because of radio and just things like that. And so I learned a lot of things over the years and watching this stuff. So it was just, so I started watching this stuff again. Now here's my little confession. Do not judge me. I started recording that stuff for about 8 to 9 years weekly. I had DVDs upon DVDs upon DVDs of Monday night, Thursday night, all the pay-per-views, because at that point they started doing pay-per-views every month, which they're still doing, but they have their own app now and everything like that. I started recording every Monday night, every Thursday night for about 10 years, 9 to 10 years. I had so many DVDs. I'd stop the commercials, or I'd pause the commercials, and when it came back from the commercial, I'd push record. I kid y'all not. I have 2 belts, 2 of the replica belts. I do have pictures and autographs with some of the wrestlers because, like I said, I've known some of them. But yes, I finally stopped recording all this stuff in like 2010, somewhere around there. I still watch it, and I've slowed down with watching it as far as like religiously. Don't have the time for it, and it's not how it used to be. It's not as fun. BCP the Outlaws intro. Oh, you didn't know? Yep, that was Outlaws, and now Outlaws were part of DX. And so since my especially Corbin, he's like he was watching wrestling with me back 5 years ago. We still watch it. We do still watch it, but it's just not as like religious and not like, oh, it's Monday night, we need to go watch wrestling and watch the whole thing. It kind of used to be like that. So, but it's not like that no more. But we still watch it and still know some of the performers and actors and stuff. But it is fun to watch. It is entertaining, especially when you know what's going on, and then some of the backstories, like I think what gets me the most, what I like the most about a lot of this stuff is like listening to the documentaries and biographies about some of these wrestlers. Some of them have some sad stories, like, and they love what they do. Like, if you don't love what you do, there's something wrong, in my opinion. You should love any job you have. You should love your job. And it's like these dudes love their job. It's interesting because my wife and I was watching like some of the biographies, and it was like bothering her. It was bothering her because these guys are so like dedicated and so into what they do. It's their life. It's like they love to perform. They love to go out, the feel of 30,000 people cheering for you, and you walk out just to get beat up. Because as fake as it is, there's a lot of realness to it. Like when they have the accidents and they do get hurt, and all that's going through their minds is like, okay, it was worth it because it pleased the fans. In their mind, that's what they're thinking. It's their art, it's their passion, it's their gift and talent. And so they love what they do, you know, and even when it beats them up, like their bodies are broken. So for me, I like listening to their stories, their biographies. I'm like, man, and hearing the hardship and some of the things that some of them went through to get to where they're at. I like stories like that, like real life stories and biographies and things like that, no matter what it is. I mean, like even myself, I like real movies. I like real based movies that are real life. So yeah. Yeah, and yes, exactly, Gigi. When they talk about, like, when they first started, they loved their stuff so much, and this reminds me of, like, when I was a DJ myself. They loved their stuff so much that they did not care how much they got paid. Like, they got paid very little money, and they'd spend, like a 12-hour drive just to get to the next city to perform for people who appreciated them, who liked them, just to perform. And it was like that with anybody who's in the, within the art industry of, no matter if it's wrestling or music or something like that, it's always like a humble beginnings. It's always like you don't get paid nothing. You do this, you actually do the stuff because you love what you do. You like it. So it's like, I don't care if I get paid because I like what I do. Most people don't like their jobs. Most people hate waking up at 5 or 6 in the morning or 7, and they hate their jobs, or it's frustrating, or it's hard, you know. And I mean, it is what it is, you know. And a lot of people just hate that. I mean, and that don't even matter if it's a stay-at-home job or what, you know. Like even taking care of children can be difficult, you know. So I mean, it could be like one of those things. Like, man, this is hard. It's not fun. But people, you know, there's ways probably to make things fun, and we should enjoy our lives. We should like and love our jobs, no matter what it is. And if we don't love our jobs, then we should find a different job that we do love. And that could probably be hard. I understand, but that's why, you know, and that's the thing about, I think, what our culture going back, and we talked about this last night on Will's show as well, but going back, how everything is screwed up now. Because it used to be where people actually loved what they did, because, like, a man's craft, it was his trade, you know, and a woman's craft and her ways was to nurture the family and to pour in the family, and we were designed for those particular roles, you know. And a man did this, he created stuff, he was designed to do these type of things, you know. And I've been like that myself, so it's like I always loved kind of like the entrepreneur stuff, because that's where I find, I guess, in a way, kind of like a purpose and a drive, you know. Even doing this stuff, I love doing this. I never thought I would, because when I used to DJ, I hated talking on this thing. I never spoke on the microphone when I was in the club. Never. I never spoke. I hated it. I hated it so much. I hated speaking on the mic. I hated hearing myself. So, but we should like what we do. We should enjoy what we do. And so many people don't, you know, they hate their jobs, or it's miserable. They hate their bosses or whatever. So yeah, the good old days of wrestling. So anyway, like I said, I'm going to take them down to see SummerSlam. It's like in 2 weeks. And then to see Jabberwockies, which I know they're excited for. They're excited to see Jabberwockies. What? No, there's no WWE event at Artur's event. No. So anyway, wow, I went for 2 hours. I did not think I was going to be able to pull off a 2-hour show. I did not think that. It's been a while since I've done like a 2-hour show. I'm looking at some of the comments. So I have 2 screens. Someone blessed me with the screen. Witchy 12. I haven't seen her in a minute, by the way. Witchy 12 blessed me with a monitor screen. So I've had 2 for a while. So on one screen I'm seeing like comments, and the other screen over here, it's all my other stuff, what's being dished out to the shows. So Only in Mr. Bill, I have not been to any school board meetings. I was actually talking about school board stuff earlier in the show this evening. I was talking about some of the school board stuff because the school board, I'll repeat it though, a lot of the school board people who were not on the school board, but the higher up, I guess, the administration, they don't really talk back. They don't really talk back to the people who are sharing information or the parents who are up there saying stuff. It's almost like they just sit there and, okay, they're listening and that's about it. And so at the end of the day, I'm just wondering how effective it's going to be, because we keep seeing it. We keep seeing parents and people go to school boards, which is, it's great. But then I'm like, okay, well, what's being done or what, and I'm not being discouraging. I'm just like I'm saying, I'm just kind of like wondering, I'm curious, like, is this going to work? I hope it does, but is it really? And I've been wondering. I found out, I heard some information in regards to that the school board people really don't talk back. They're just listening. So like I said earlier, I think Yanita said this too, that the next best thing to do is remove children from schools, get them out of the school system. Because the school system in general it's going to be what it is. It's not going to be for us. It really isn't. It's not going to be for us. So I'm just wondering to fight that, is it even worth it? If it's not going to be for us, pull the kids out. Pull the kids out. So maybe put a couple of them on American Heroes. Yeah, we'll get some of them dancing. I'll get a couple of videos or get a couple of them dancing. Yeah, that's going to be their next videos of them dancing. Oh, because they do. They try to get it in. Huh? What's that? Come here. They try to get it in. They try to get their wrestling in. There's one of them. Good night, dude. Good night. Love you. Love you. Good night. Go pray. Go pray. Oh, what's up, dude? All right. Love you. Go pray. What'd you say? What'd you say? Okay. Love you. Okay. I'll see you later. Go pray. Okay. Yep. So yeah, I don't know. It's awesome to see people standing up for in the school stuff. It really is. And I know not everybody can homeschool. I'm just saying that's going to be one of the most effective ways is to pull the children out of schools. If you have the means to do it, pull them out, make the schools hurt. Make the schools hurt. But it's dope that parents are going in there and doing what they're doing. But here's the thing, folks. When we do things, we have to ask and ponder how effective it is. I mean, that's the same with any kind of business that we do. With any decisions and any moves that we make, we have to sit here and we have to question our motives. We have to be critical of ourselves, allow criticism, constructive criticism, and sit here and say, okay, well, how effective is this going to be? Okay, I can go here and do this, speak my piece, because even Jesus himself talked about you do your thing, wipe the dust off your feet and move on. Okay, so how effective is this? How effective is that? What's it going to do? What's the end goal? Are we going to be able to accomplish or achieve the end goal? So those are all type of things that a lot of times run through my mind in regards to stuff. And it's not, again, to discourage anybody. It's not to say it's not going to work. It's just, okay, if it is going to work, what do we need to do? What's it going to, how are we going to? And so even with that, in regards to our school system and the CRT, the question is, how are we? Because I'm looking at the school board stuff the same way as I'm looking at the presidential stuff and the election stuff. How effective are we, or how effective can we be? What exactly can we do in order to see the change? Because we need to, because the school board stuff is like, it's like the politicians, the ones who are making the rules. We can't touch them. We can complain, we can do this, we can do that, but we really can't touch them. They're still making the rules. We see what's going on. The mandates, the orders, the rules. Yo, we've been doing stuff. We're pushing back, but at the end of the day, nothing happens. So the school boards, the administration, they're just there listening to us. Guess what? I'm in administration. I'm going to listen to you, but at the end of the day, I'm going to do what I want to do. I don't know how to combat that. I don't know how to beat that. And that's what I'm saying. I'm being a realist when it comes to that. I'm just saying I don't know. Again, it's encouraging. It's dope to see. I'll go to them if I could, and if I had the time, I'd go. Probably just to see what's going on and see, to watch. But again, I don't know. It's one of those things, again, I don't have the answers for. I don't know. I don't have the answers for. But Mr. Bill, he's been streaming a lot of this stuff. He's very active, encouraging people to get to the school board meetings and to voice their opinions and stuff like that. Again, I'm all for it. I'm not against it. I think it's great. I'm just saying I don't know how effective it's going to be, especially when I've talked to some people who are on school boards and they've shared some stuff. I'm like, wow, that's kind of discouraging. So only Mr. Bill says, as parents, you can go to schools and encourage unmasked type sit-ins. So they're talking about you, only a Mr. Bill on YouTube. They're talking about you. I'm not going to say who it was. No, Michael 777 says, as long as Mr. Bill doesn't dance, we good. I've heard that only Mr. Bill can cut a rug. I heard he's very good at the electric slide. I haven't seen it. I heard that he's very good at doing the electric slide. That only Mr. Bill can cut a rug doing the electric slide. I'll have to put him to the test. I'll have to stream him doing that next time I see him. So, anywho, I want to sign off, you guys. He's asking, where am I at tomorrow? Where are you tomorrow? There is a flag wave, Oregon City flag wave, that's been going on. I don't know how many weeks it's been going on. I don't know if it's even competing with the one that's going on in Ridgefield every Sunday. I think Ridgefield they're at week 48, or was that 48 last week? That's almost a year they've been doing their flag wave every Sunday up in Ridgefield, Washington. But tomorrow is Oregon City, Berry Hill. Flag wave is going on. And then, of course, Artur Pawlowski is going to be here on Saturday. And then Sunday, there's a couple of things. Sandy, Oregon, unborn. Let me find it. Let me get to it so you guys can see it yourself. Sandy, Oregon, there's a big rally gathering. Let's see. No, nope. Let me see if this is it. Okay, you guys might be able to see a little bit of it. All right. So there it is. Sunday, 4 p.m. Prayer, Faith, and Freedom Rally and March, Sandy, Oregon. Unborn Lives Matter. Why every unborn life is precious, made in the image of God, deserving of honor, dignity, full human rights, and protection from harm and death. Bring pro-life flags and posters, plus American flags. Bring your own chairs, drinks, and food for a fellowship meal in the plaza after the rally and march. Scheduled time, 4 p.m. Meet at Centennial Plaza. Opening prayer and remarks. March through city with flags and pro-life posters. Return to Centennial Plaza for rally, have fellowship and meal. Resources, compassion, information from various pro-life organizations and resources. So there it is. This will be Sunday. Rally and March, Unborn Lives Matter. A pastor's putting it on in Sandy, Oregon. So that's from 4 p.m. to about 6 o'clock. Fellowship afterward at 6 p.m. Tom McCall Waterfront on Sunday. Sean Fawcett's going to be there. I think that's how I pronounce his last name. You guys know him. He's been traveling the country for about a year doing worship music, free concerts. So he's going to be downtown at 6 p.m. on Sunday as well. So you go from Sandy, Oregon, about a 40-minute drive straight down to downtown Portland. Check out the concert. So, all right, you guys. Like I said a while ago, I was going to get out of here. I'm going to do it this time. So, only Mr. Bill. I'm sure I'll probably see you tomorrow. Well, maybe I might go to this church conference tomorrow evening. Take the boys and the family. So, all right, you guys. Also, if you'd like to help with anything, any donations, any love, any blessings, trust me, it means a lot. It means a lot. It's how this thing keeps moving. It's how I keep getting places to show you guys what's taking place across the nation. And all the glory goes to God, because without you guys, I would not seriously be able to do this. Because like I told you, I was shy. I didn't want to be on the mic. I didn't want to do all this stuff. And in order for me to get to the places I get to, it's because of your generosity, your charity, your support, and everything that you guys do. So I thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys keep also supporting Only in Mr. Bill. Hopefully you're still doing that Bible reading at night, Only in Mr. Bill. So go flood his channel on Twitch. Let's also continue to grow Twitch. I'm glad I got this backup channel for YouTube. Come next week, I will be back on the Black Conservative Preacher, and I have some videos to post as well. So appreciate you guys. Y'all have a blessed night. God bless you guys.